Hello and welcome to Smokemare's Gaming and Car Talk. Now, in one of my recent videos I covered a battle report where my Space Wolves took on 2,000 points worth of Chaos Knights, and it didn't go very well. I'd expected my Long Fangs to be able to do some damage with the las cannons and the Land Raider and the Storm Room, but I didn't really have anything that really punched hard enough to do real damage. Now, the other army I play, in case you haven't gathered, is the Adepta Sororitas, the Battle Sisters, and they're often cited as having not much anti-tank. One of the options we do have for anti-tank, which is often said is quite good, is Morven Val and the Paragon Warsuits. So what I wanted to look at today was, if I'd played that same game with average rolling, would I have stood a good chance of taking out a knight with Morven Val and the Paragons, and if so, which weapon setup will be the best bet to do the most damage? So that's what we're looking at today. Now, these are the units I'm going to be using for this test. It's Morven Val, and it's the 3 Paragon Warsuits that she's going to be leading. One key thing you have to think about is Morven Val's rerolls. You get rerolls to hit and to wound. A lot of the Paragon's stuff is twin linked anyway, so you can't reroll, so you're not doubling that up. But if Morven Val ends up losing a squad and ends up on her own, she's no longer leading a unit, so she won't get the rerolls herself. So you really want to keep your Bodyguard alive. Now they're going to be going up against this Chaos Knight Despoiler. So we've got movement 10, toughness 12, 22 wounds. It's going to take some hitting to bring it down. Most dangerous weapons, you've got your thermal cannon, 2d3 hits, strength 12, minus 4 AP, then you've got your demon breath melter gun, that's a strength 9 there, minus 4 AP, d6 damage, some really nasty stuff there. So how do the Paragons get on without Morven Val? Well, if you roll perfectly and your opponent fails all his saves, this is how it works out. So your heavy bolter is going to not take out an entire model quite. Same as with your Minister and Flamer. Your multi-melter, if you got perfect rolls and they failed all their saves, would take out 2 of these actually, but obviously there's only 1 that we're fighting, so the maximum will be 1. The same is true of the Paragon Warblades and the Hallowed Maces. On the other side of the spectrum, the Havoc missile pods, that's going to take out 1, nearly 2 Paragons. Demon Breath thermal cannons, that's easily going to take out the whole squad. Same for the Despoiler Gatling gun. Not so much for the heavy Dark Flame and the Demon Breath. Titanic Feet potentially taking out 2, perfect rolling. All in all, if it fires all its weapons, it is probably most certainly going to take out the entire squad of Paragons. Moving on to the same perfect rolls, but including Morven Val in the squad, we're now looking at a much stronger attack by the Paragons. But obviously you've got the same issue on the other side, and potentially you could destroy with a perfect round of shooting and fails for saves 9 of these Chaos Knights. But obviously that's just all very hypothetical. The really important thing is when you factor in your wound rolls and save and devastating and sustained hits and all that kind of thing. So, moving on, how do the Paragons fare without Morven Val in there? And obviously we're not taking into account strategies and tank shock and this sort of thing. But basically, without Morven Val, your optimum combination of the best melee, the best shoulder weapons, and the best arm range weapons can take out half of a knight. So in theory, you could knock 11 wounds off this chap with average wound rolling. Now, hitting back, he's most likely going to take out 2.2. So you could lose a squad. Pretty much definitely going to lose 1 unless he's really unlucky. Averaging out, you're probably going to lose 2 of the squad for half of his health. So the next round, you're probably going to lose the squad. You're not going to have enough just in those to do that extra damage back. The real thing is obviously once you put Morven Val into the equation and you get rerolls not just on the twin linked but on the melee weapons as well. In this case, I didn't actually account for the twin linked, so you might do a little bit more damage, but I don't think it's going to be enough for you to, with average rolling, take out a whole knight on one turn. When we move on to using Morven Val and the Paragons together, things start to look a lot more positive. So just running through that first column there, those are our shots for each weapon. And we're looking at Morven Val hitting on 2, so 2.49 hits with 0.5 sustained, 0.5 rerolls. So from the rerolls, your extra hits are going to be another 0.4, taking just 0.7. Total hits 3.5, wounding on a 6. All in all, you're looking at the total damage for the Fidelis being potentially 1.09. So that's 0.05% of a knight killed. So it's not really very much there. The Paragon Prioris, that's going up to 2.23 damage, so that's 0.10 of your knight taken down. And your Sanctorum Missiles doesn't perform as well. Average rolling is going to give you 0.70 if average saving on the other side as well. Moving on to the heavy bolter, again we've got the sustained hits to take into account, 9 shots, but now we've got re-rolls. So there we've got the re-rolls from Morven Val, the extra hits being 2, then the sustained hits as well, so for the total hits for that many. Wounding on 6s, but Morven Val's giving you 8.2 re-rolls for the 6s, so we're then looking at potentially another 3 damage from the heavy bolters. Minister and Flamers are performing not as well. It's going to be the low AP. I mean, it keeps that 3+ save and the damage of 1, and you're averaging its D6 attacks, so it's potentially only going to be 3.5 attacks on average. That's probably going to give you 1 damage total. The real winner is Melter Guns. So obviously we've got hitting on 3s, so you're likely to get 4 hits out of your 6 attacks. Then you're going to get 2 rerolls if you obviously fail 2 of those, which is potentially going to give you another 1.33 hits on average, totaling 5.3 hits. Successful wound rolls, again you're talking 1.79 because you're hitting on 5, you're wounding on 5s rather, but then your 3.6 Morven Val rerolls is going to potentially take you up again 0.5 to give you a total of 2.37. And we're assuming we're in melter range, so the damage we're taking is 3.5 average for the D6 plus the 2 gives you 5.5. So, and that's each. And we're now looking at potentially 10.01. So those melter guns on their own with Morven Val's reroll should knock off half the knight's wounds. Then we've got the Paragon grenade launchers, and they're better than a Stormbolt, but still potentially only doing 1 wound. All counts, of course. Then we're moving on to Morven Val. Obviously, you've got the Lance, which can be on strike and sweep. Strike, unsurprisingly, is the winner. It all comes out once you've taken into account the devastating wounds and so forth, and the rerolls, doing 2.37 damage there, whereas the sweep is only going to do 0.4 of damage. Your war blades are looking at 3.5, 0.5. So yeah, it's surprising. I thought the maces would have worked out better, and they might do if you took into account playing the tank shock stratagem. But just using the war blades and attacking, even though in some respects the maces look stronger, it appears that you actually get more damage fractionally from the Paragon Warblades. And when you add it all up, if you look at the end column here, the column in bright green, that's the best combination for which weapons to use for Morven Val's rocket launch and from the Paragons. So we're using the Prioris missile, we're using the multi-melters, and we're using the Paragon grenade launchers. Then we're using a strike from Morven Val's lance, and we're using the Warblades, and that's giving us a total average models killed of 1.02. So on average rolling with a shoot and a charge phase within melter range, Morven Val and the Paragons should be able to take down a Knight Despoiler, other stratagems and stuff ignored, if she uses the Prioris missile and the strike, and if the Paragons take multi-melters, Paragon grenade launchers and Warblades. But there's not a lot in it. When you factor in the amount of damage that they've done in this round of shooting and the points that they've destroyed, it does work out very much in favour of the Adepta Sororitas. It looks like they could take down potentially 466 because it looks like they can take this guy down and have a bit spare. But from the Knight Despoiler's point of view, unless he's a bit lucky with his rolls and the sisters are a bit unlucky with their rolls, he's not gonna be able to take down that amount of points worth. So I need to look at this with the long fangs, see what other options we've got, see whether I was a bit unlucky and the last cannon guy should have done better. But as it stands, is an anti-tank option. Morven Val with the Paragon Warsuits, taking Warblades and Paragon grenade launchers and multi-melters does work. It's a decent anti-tank option. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with it. Hope you've enjoyed it. And if you want to listen to more Mathshammer and probabilities of different things, taking down different things, like and subscribe. And if there's something particularly you're interested in, drop me a comment just saying what you'd like me to do the maths on. Thanks for watching. Bye.